Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Dureja Learning. Today I am going to discuss the topic punctuation. So punctuation in part 1 I have discussed with you first only. In that I have discussed that the punctuation rule 1, which is the capital letters. In this I will tell you the second thing, the second rule. So I am going to start. Before that, we will see the definition. Why we need the punctuation. Why do we need punctuation? Punctuation allows the author's writing to be easy to read and understandable for the reader. So this is the why do we need punctuation. So it is very important. Take note copy also. This is very important. At the last of the video there is quotation marks which are very important. I'll tell you about them little. So punctuation marks, full stop, period, ellipsis marks, comma, colon, semicolon, question mark, exclamation mark, quotation marks, parentheses, apostrophe, hyphen and dash. The last three, which are parentheses, apostrophe and hyphen and dash, I'll teach you in my next discussion of punctuation. First I'll discuss these things today. So I'm going to start. Firstly we will do why to punctuate. Why to punctuate? Punctuation marks are symbols that indicate the structure and organization of written language, as well as the intonation and pauses to be observed when reading aloud. In written English, punctuation is vital to disseminate the meaning of sentences. So this is why to punctuate the sentences. Correct punctuation can save a life of a person. Now see, in the last video also this was example. Let's eat grandpa or let's eat grandpa. The power of punctuation. An English professor asked the students to punctuate the following. A woman without her man is nothing. All of the males in the class wrote a woman without her man is nothing. All of the females in the class wrote a woman without her man is nothing. So this is the power of punctuation. So next we will do. Now we will talk about full stop. Use a full stop at the end of a complete sentence that is a statement. Example, I know that you would never break my trust in Trinity. If the last word in the sentence ends a full stop, do not use another full stop after it. Example, I know that MD, she is my sister-in-law. So next we will do is ellipsis marks. The rules are the 3-dot method is used for ellipsis marks. Use no more than 3 marks whether the omission occurs in the middle of a sentence or between sentences. Example, original sentence, the regulation states all agencies must document over time or risk losing federal funds. Rewritten using ellipse. The regulation states all agencies must document over time. So these are the for this ellipsis marks. So next we will discuss the comma, which is also important. Avoid confusion. Use commas to separate words and word groups, which a series of three or more. Example: my property is to be split among my husband, daughter, son, and nephew. Second, using a comma to separate two adjectives when the word and can be inserted between them. Example: he is a strong, healthy man. Use commas before or surrounding the name or the title of a person directly addressed. Example: will you, Asha, do that assignment for me? Yes, doctor, I will. So next is, these are more rules. Use a comma to separate the day of the month for the year and after the year. Example: she talked to her husband on December 5, 2003 in Mill Valley, California. Use commas to set off expressions that interrupt the flow of the sentences. Example: I am, as you have probably noticed, one nervous about this. If something or someone is sufficiently indicated, the description following is considered essential and should be surrounded by commas. Example: Freddie, who has a limp, was the person available and required qualification. When starting a sentence with a weak clause, use a comma after it. Conversely, do not use a comma when the sentence starts with a strong clause followed by a weak clause. Example: if you are sure about this, let me know. Let me know if you are sure about this. Use a comma to separate strong to strong clause joined by conjunction and or but for not. You can't omit the comma if the clause are both short. Example: I paint and he writes. Ninth is, use the comma to separate two sentences if it helps to avoid confusion. Its example is, I choose the color red and green and blue and his first choice. Use commas to introduce direct quotations shorter than 3 lines. Next is example, he accurately said, I do not care. Use a comma to separate a statement from a question. I can go, can't I? This was an example. Use a comma to separate contracting parts of a sentence. Example, that is my money, not yours. Use a comma when beginning sentences with introductory words such as well, now, or yes. Yes, I do not need that report. Well, I never thought I'd live to see this the day. Use commas surrounding words such as therefore and however when they are used as interrupters. I would therefore like a response. I would be happy, however, to volunteer for the Red Cross. So now we will talk colon. Use the colon to introduce a list of items where introductory words such as namely, for example, or that is do not appear. Example, I want item namely butter, sugar and flour. I want the following items butter, sugar and flour. A colon should not precede a list unless it follows a complete sentence. Example, I want an assistant who can input data, write reports and complex text forms. I want an assistant who can do the following: input data, writing reports, and etc. Use a colon when the second clause explains the first clause and no conjunction is being used to connect the clause. If only one sentence follows the colon, do not capitalize the first word of the new sentence. If two or more sentences follow the colon, capitalize the first word of each sentence. Example: I enjoy reading novels by Kurt and my favorite. Use the colon to introduce a direct quotation that is more than 3 lines in the length. In this situation, leave a blank line above and below the quoted material. Single space the long quotation intended 1/2 inch on the both left and right margins. Quotation marks are not used. Example: the author wrote in the first chapter. This is an example. You must see this example. Now the next topic is semicolon. Use a semicolon in the place of a full stop to separate two sentences where the conjunction have been left out. Examples: call me tomorrow. I will give my answer then. These which I am leaving the examples. You must read the examples because they are important. Use the semicolon to separate units of a series when one or more of the unit contain commas. This conference example is: this conference has people who have come from Lahore, Pakistan, Bombay, India, and Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, etc. So these are use the semicolon between two sentences that are joined by a conjunction but already have one or more commas within the first sentence. Example: when I finish here, I will be glad to help you, and that I is a promise I will keep. So this example you must read. Next is the important or the mainly used thing, which is question mark. Use a question mark only after a direct question. Example: will you go with me? I asked if he would go with me. Use a question mark when a sentence is half statement and half question. Example: you do care, don't you? Next is exclamation mark. The punctuation in the punctuation exclamation mark we will say as an exclamation mark shows a strong feeling or emotion. Example: you are amazing. Wow! Stop thief. Watch out. You nearly fell in. Now we will see the quotation marks. See, this is a very important topic, so I have given you much material, but I will tell you till this here. I will tell you till here. So I am going to tell you quotation marks are a type of punctuation used to mark an externally replaced word or a statement. This can be phrased by a person or character, the title of a work, or to indicate of or impress the alternate use of a word. Quotation mark take the appearance of a set of inverted commas and used in pairs consisting of an opening quotation mark and a closing one. There are two major sets of rules regarding quotation marks, British and American. So you have to do these topics, which are these. So of punctuation part 1, link is in description, must see that link. So you have to note also these things. So my video ends over here. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Stay home, stay safe and enjoy with Dureja Learning. Thank you.